Now it gives me enormous pleasure to introduce you to Ben Hookway from Relative Insight.
Thank you. Oh, hi, everyone. My name is Ben Hookway. I'm the CEO of Relative Insight, and we turn language into data. So as a brand, how you speak to your consumers is critical to your authenticity. And what we do at Relative Insight is track how consumers actually speak on the internet at massive scale, and then enable you to slice and dice how different groups talk so you can better target messaging to them. Now, we're good at this because we didn't actually come into marketing the conventional way. Originally, and we continue to do so, we stop bad people from doing bad things. But a while back, just before Nokia was acquired by Microsoft Mobile, they got in touch because they had a language problem with their ad copy. They just launched the Lumia 1020, which some of you might remember. At the time, this had the best camera you could get on a smartphone. And so part of the ad campaign was to target DSLR, like proper camera enthusiasts. And Nokia was saying things like, take amazing pictures with the Lumia 1020. But it wasn't hitting the mark. They weren't getting the results they wanted. So they asked us to come in and do some language analytics. And what we did was that we took millions and millions of words from DSLR forums and compared the language of those consumers to regular consumer electronics buyers. And it turns out there are significant differences. And one of the critical differences is that DSLR people tend not to say that they take pictures. They tend to say that they shoot images. And so Nokia was being completely inauthentic to the very consumer group they were trying to target, but they just didn't know what that consumer group talked like, and that's what we enable. So it's no accident that the Apple iPhone camera campaign says shot on iPhone 6. It doesn't say taken. And this is a classic example of needing to understand the authentic language your target consumer group needs. So after this project, we concluded, well, we'd better get into this full time. So we put a lot more resources into it, a lot more effort, and we've ended up working with some really interesting brands and agencies. So there's a couple more examples. With some agency partners, Tresemme was looking to have the copy for their ad campaigns appeal to women who had frizzy hair concerns. My wife is amazed that I know so much about frizzy hair, but I do, because there's a forum for everything. And what we did was that we looked at millions of words in frizzy hair forums and looked how women talked about frizzy hair issues in comparison to regular shampoo discussion and regular hair issues. And we managed to surface the critical aspirational language that they wanted. And smoothness turns out to be the thing of desire. And so this is embedded in the copy, and it makes for a more effective creative. So more recently, Twitter have been doing some fantastic work with our tech. What Twitter have been doing is building audience language models based around consumers with common interests, and then linguistically targeting ads to those audience groups. And it's resulting in an 80% drop in the cost of consumer acquisition, because you're saying the right thing to the right group of people, and you've got the data to prove it. So how do we do this? We're a software company, and we have a dashboard and a platform, and the platform will allow you to look at language and compare it in lots of different dimensions. So for example, you can compare by age group. Women in North America who are 20 say they wear makeup. Women who are 50 say they apply makeup. So if you're in the makeup business, you've got to know this, depending on who you're trying to target. And there's all kinds of other comparisons you can do, like different consumer groups. Time is a fabulously effective axis of comparison. How are people talking about your brand before your ad campaign compared with how they're talking about it after the ad campaign? The shift in language tells you the actual effects of the ad campaign, which I think everyone was going to want to know. How do they talk about your brand compared with how do they talk about your competition? Are they talking about your shampoo in a unique way, or are they just talking about shampoo? You've got to know this stuff, and so this is what we enable. We've done okay. We work with a lot of top agencies, and we've worked with a lot of top brands in various industries. And typically, we get applied in 3 different ways. Master brand level, So as a brand, what do you need to be saying at an abstract level, at a high level to your target consumers? And then we get into product. How do you want to position this product to this group of people? How are they talking about you compared to how they're talking about the competition? How's that changing over time? And then we do audience targeting. So the Twitter example is a great illustration of how language, common language use, can be a fantastic way to really hone in on the right people. How do you use us? Well, we have software as a service platform, which you can access yourselves. You can also subscribe to audience language models we already have. So for example, if you want to know how Generation Z talk on Twitter in the UK, we have a colossal database which tells you exactly that. But if all of that sounds too technical and too hard, you can just kind of give us a ring and tell us what you want to know, and we'll go and do it for you. So to sum up, we're about resonance. The right language to the right people is authenticity, and it's authenticity that gives resonance. And we can drive this in a data-driven way. So we're here really to talk to brands and agencies. If any of you are interested at all in how can we be applied to help you on any project, there's normally a way we can help you out. I'm going to be loitering over here. Rich Wilson, who's the guy who's somewhat unnervingly filming me right now, waving, is also here. Come and get us. We'd love to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. That was Ben Hookway.